What's up, everybody? We back with another YouTube video. I know it's been a long time. It's been a very long time since I've been here. A lot has changed, and I'm going to get you guys up to speed with everything. But today, we're going to be talking about New York City. You might notice the background is a little bit different. That's because it is a little bit different. But today's video is going to be about, should you move to New York City in 2026? No. What is it like living in New York in 2025? Trash. Sorry, no, I'm just playing.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another YouTube video. Today, we're going to be talking about, should you move to New York City in 2026 or late 2025? Coming from somebody who's lived there for a very long time, who is not from there. So I can give you some pretty good perspective. Now, the first thing we're going to talk about when it comes to New York City is your why. Why are you moving to New York?
You sure about that? You sure about that?
That is like the most important question that I can ask anybody that has to do with New York, right? Because there's really only a couple of reasons to move there. Now, for the first reason is your why. It better be financially motivated. Unless you are a trust fund baby, or unless you are already rich, or you're like under the age of 25, New York City is probably not a good idea for you. Let me explain. So there's only really three different categories of people who live in New York City. You're either from there, you move there for work, or you move there for the vibes. Now, let me tell you, in 2025, do not move to New York City for the vibes, because the vibes have changed dramatically. I first moved there in like 2017, 2018. That was when New York City was very much still New York City. What does that mean? That means you could go out at 2 in the morning, things are still open. You can go out 3 or 4 in the morning, things are still open. New York City was known for being the city that never sleeps. Now, that is not necessarily the case. I remember I went back a couple of weeks ago to pick up something, and I was in Manhattan, and it was like 10 o'clock on a Thursday, I think. And I literally couldn't even find pizza.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
I was on like the west side of town on like 30th Street or something like that, and I literally could not find a slice of pizza at 10 o'clock at night. So the city that never sleeps, that used to be Sleepless or whatever, Concrete Jungle, no longer exists. So if you're going there thinking that you can do anything at any hour of the day, that is no longer the case. And that sucks. If you're a dancer, if you're a comedian, if you're an influencer, if you do anything involving the arts, New York City is a good place to be. The only thing is you really just have to think about how you're going to afford to live there, because being a creator is very difficult. A lot of times we can't pay our bills living in New York.
I can't eat! I'm broke, nigga! I'm broke!
So you're going to have that baseline covered. If you're an artist and you got that baseline covered, then you might be in good shape. But if you don't have that baseline covered, I would not recommend getting an apartment. I would not recommend getting a lease, because what's going to happen is you're going to end up working so many hours that you're not going to be able to go into your craft. You're not going to be able to put hours into dancing or comedy or singing or your music career or your acting career, what have you. So make sure you got your baseline covered before you move to New York, because it's ruthless out here. If you think you're living alone, you're not. Unless you got $2,500 probably minimum to pay a month, you're probably going to have a roommate. So suck it up. Another thing you need to think about is, when it comes to your why, is how long am I going to stay here? Is this why strong enough for me to be able to sustain all the bullshit that New York is going to put you through? Because it's going to be a lot. Like, I'm serious, man. New York will chew you up and spit you out. I don't care if you walk to work, take the train to work, take the bus to work. Something bad is going to happen eventually on your way to work. It's just the way the world is designed in New York City. Your first couple of weeks are probably going to feel euphoric. You're going to go out. You're going to go to bars you've never been to. You're going to meet people from all walks of life that you've never even run into. You're going to find communities that you're like, wow, oh my God, I didn't even know this existed. You're going to eat food that you didn't even know existed. You're going to see prices that you've never seen in your life, and not in a good way.
You serious?
Thing that I would say is probably by month 3, you're probably going to be questioning why you did this. You're going to be like, yo, everything is so expensive. It's loud. It stinks. The train is always late. I'm always late. I can't sleep at night. My room is too small. I need more space. I need a storage unit. I need a dresser. I need another mattress. You're going to come up with all of these things and be like, wow, I didn't think about any of this stuff. And by month 3 to 6, you're going to be like, wow, did I make a mistake? You probably did. But it's okay. Especially if you're young enough, it's definitely okay. Now, the second thing I really want to talk about is know your price. A lot of people have this like weird idea that it's like they know New York is expensive, but they don't know how expensive New York is. So a lot of people think like, yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can go ahead and get a 1,100, 1,200 bedroom, 1,000 a month. No, you can't. You're going to have two roommates for that. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people don't really understand that it is astronomical. And you see all these jokes and these memes about living in a shoebox or living in a hallway. That stuff is true. Like, literally, that stuff is true. I've had apartments where the length of my bed, the length of my room was the length of the apartment. Like, literally, like, my queen size bed, like, I could touch the door from sitting on the edge of my bed. That's how small a lot of the apartments are in New York City. So when it comes to knowing your price, no, can I afford $800, $900, $1,100, $1,200, $1,300, $1,400, $1,500 a month? How much can I afford to live comfortably? And to be perfectly honest with you, if you're below the age of 30, I do recommend getting a roommate because what you're going to pay is not worth the peace of mind that it is going to bring you. They say that, oh, peace of mind is priceless. All of that's priceless. No, it's not when you can't pay the rent. If you got a roommate, then I promise you're going to be all right with that as long as that rent is paid. So don't shoot above your means. And also neighborhoods. Manhattan, good luck trying to live in Manhattan because that place is astronomical. I think the median rent in Manhattan is like $5,500. And then if you want to go to Brooklyn, good luck too because Brooklyn is kind of turning into a mini Manhattan. I lived in Bed-Stuy the entire time. I lived in Bushwick for a little bit, but I lived in Bed-Stuy for like 6 years. Different zip codes within Bed-Stuy, but nonetheless, it was Bed-Stuy. And every time that I moved, I got pushed further and further away from the city. You understand that the closer you live to the city, the more expensive your rent is going to be. Folks looking to Queens, a lot of people don't really look into Queens who don't know much about New York because they just hear more about Brooklyn, they hear all about Manhattan, the city, or what have you. But when it comes to Queens, you're going to get more space. You're going to get more room for your money. The roads are wider, too. I don't know if you drive. That's a topic for another conversation, but there's more parking spots. The roads are wider. The cribs are usually a little bit bigger. And Queens is a little bit more family-oriented than BK is. Big family vibes in Queens. I was going to move to Maspeth once upon a time. My cousin lives up in Astoria. He loves it. I think he still lives up there. So I would say think about that really, really hard. And also, Long Island, no. Staten Island, no. It's too far from the city. You can really live anywhere as long as your commute isn't too crazy. If you have to be in Manhattan, you should probably live within an hour of Manhattan. If you have to be in BK, you should probably live within an hour of BK, right? But if you move to New Jersey, it's super underrated. I ain't gonna lie to you. Jersey's super underrated. I ain't never met nobody who moved to New Jersey and was like, damn, yo, I miss New York. Damn, I shouldn't have went to New Jersey. I ain't never met nobody say that. Matter of fact, everybody be like, damn, I should have been moved to Jersey. Now, that's what I was going to do before I left, but that's a story for another day. But don't discount Jersey. There's some nice cities in Jersey. You can go to Jersey City. You can go to Hackensack. You can go to Bayonne. You can go to Journal Square. There's a lot of places in Jersey that have a decent commute to the city and also argue might have a better view because it's like you standing at Jersey looking at New York as opposed to standing at New York looking at Jersey. Who wants to look at Jersey? Exactly, right? So think about moving to Jersey. And think about your price, too, because you're not going to be living alone if you can't afford more than $2,200, $2,300 a month. That's just the way it is. Not to mention the Bronx. The Bronx is actually not bad. They gentrifying the hell out of Bronx. South Bronx is a little bit different than other areas in the northeastern part of the Bronx. But if you got to stay in Manhattan and you don't want to leave the borough and your commute is all right, then stay in the Bronx. So it's not that bad. It's not what people say. Just know where to go, know where not to go, and you're going to be in good shape. When it comes to Harlem is getting gentrified crazy. So good luck living there. You might be able to find something, but you're probably going to be paying more for what it's worth because of the gentrification. Yeah, crime is still a problem, but if you know how to move, you should be all right. The Heights is kind of deep. Not going to lie to you. The Heights, I've never been up there that many times, but you can always get a decent crib for a decent price. It's just so deep. It's up 200, man. Like it's just so far north. It's so deep. So good luck with that. So in closing, what I'm gonna say to y'all is just think long and hard before you move to New York City. Drop a like, comment below about your experience, or did you live there? Did you want to live there? What have you? But my experience was bittersweet. And I would say just think long and hard before you go because things aren't gonna go the way you think. And New York City is ruthless, bro. It's gonna chew you up and spit you out. It don't care who you are unless you got money. So back next week with another video on New York City. I'm going to take y'all through a couple bit more things about my decision to leave New York. I know I've been gone for a while, but I had to get back situated back down here before I came back and explained everything to y'all. So drop a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know about your journey in New York City. We're going to talk soon.